Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first Meet the Members series for the Foundations First for Women in Business community. And today, our guest is Theresa Carlstedt. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
And she is a health and wellness educator, speaker, and third generation Shaklee leader. She's passionate about helping women understand the science behind nutrition, hormones, menopause, and healthy aging. And I think we can all appreciate that. So today she is going to share all her knowledge with us and let us know a little bit about who she is and what she does. And Theresa.
Thank you so much, Yvonne, for that introduction. Hello, ladies. I am super honored to be here to be your guest speaker for the day. Thank you, Kieran, for inviting me into the group. And I am going to just really focus on hormones today. So, as Yvonne said, yes, my background's in biochemistry and nutrition. I spent the last 15 to 20 years researching the world of personal care products, and then I got into cleaners and then nutrition. And what really started this journey for me was my special needs sister, understanding the body, the role nutrition played into it. My family, however, has been in Shaklee since 1972. So I'm third generation. I feel beyond blessed that I grew up in this company. But that didn't make me just stop with this company. In my research, I look for companies for the best that's out there, and that's still why I'm here with this company. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to introduce you to some research, some science, some helpful hints for women going through the body changes, what happens to us. And then I want to share, so I'll be sharing some personal testimonies from some of my clients, my friends, successes that they've had by using our regimens and products, and then open up for a Q&A at the end. So if you have anything at the end, please go ahead, stick it in the chat, or I can address it at the end of the call as well. So I want to make sure everyone can see my screen. Can you see that okay, Yvonne? Just shake your head. Yep. Okay, perfect. So I want to introduce you to women. As time goes by, we can't stop it, but how do we embrace it? And literally, if we can embrace it and if we have the right nutritional value and we're eating a good, clean diet, our life will be a whole lot easier. I know many people head into menopause and perimenopause with such dread because them or their friends or their parents or their mother went through a lot of health issues as well. So a little bit about what I also do is I do write a lot of extensive blogs. I've been a guest speaker at several podcasts as well. And I really try to bring my knowledge that I've learned through the years to the people I work with. I do solely recommend Shaklee's products because of the quality, the purity, the studies, the science, which I'll get into a little bit today of explaining that to you. But I also have at my fingertips 3 well-renowned doctors who really, if you need to talk with a doctor that's very holistic, natural, I can put you in contact with them. I work with many professionals around the country, and I feel very honored by having a legacy of 50 years behind me with Shaklee, the difference I can make in people's lives with the right nutritional products. So why are we going to talk about this today? Well, a woman's life is literally divided in thirds. We have our beginning stages, our teenage hormonal years. You're looking at through the years of being a mother bearing age years. And then we hit menopause. In fact, menopause is a third of our life. And then once menopause is done, we supposed to see breeze through the rest of our life of that other third. Most women are never taught what's happening inside their bodies. We use what our parents use. We use what our friends are using. We use what we saw on TV or the newest thing in the grocery store, but we do not realize the effect it has on our body. And why is that relevant? Personal care products are the #1 cause linked to many reproductive harm. You're looking at hormonal imbalances in women. In fact, anything you put on your skin in just 26 seconds absorbs. Any cleaners you use in your home, as soon as you start breathing them in, within just 15 minutes, you can inhale 3 times the acute exposure limit if you're using a lot of chemical cleaners. And you'd be shocked by some of those. But then you're looking at, we're all in it for one thing. We want to live the best life possible. We don't expect to have a really hard life, a lot of health issues. We want to be there for our family, our kids, and not dread the hormonal changes that are coming. So when we understand the anatomy of the body as women, we have like the peak years, just like men do, and then we start going downhill from there. We can notice weight gain, our bones aren't like what they used to be. We're tired all the time. brain fog down that line. But it all comes down to our thyroid. It comes down to our endocrine system. And then you're looking at what nutritional value we take has a huge factor in there. Some ones I really want to focus on that is the follicle stimulated hormone, FSH levels increases throughout the years. By age 51, the egg reserve is only about 1,000. And what does that mean for some people? Well, if you have a good hormonal balance in area and you have a good egg reserve, it helps you get through menopause much easier. That's why that's relevant. Estrogen and progesterone production decline and sometimes may start even if a woman is still getting her monthly cycle. And you have to be aware sometimes late menopause that can hit us can sometimes be caused or linked to heart disease. Our body's always talking to us. The question is, do we listen to it? So these are the 7 symptoms of menopause. Some people was like, well, I've had that my entire life, or that happened in my 20s. That can show some hormonal imbalance, but you're looking at anxiety, depression. If you're getting a lot of headaches, which is really interesting about headaches, a lot of it is in the gut. And that's why I talk and work with women on their gut. Fatigue is linked to protein. You're looking at hot flashes, weight gain, again, protein, osteoporosis, our bone health, our diet, all those factor in there, and then memory lapses and vaginal dryness. So when we break it out apart a little bit more, you're looking at what are the menopause symptoms. A loss of libido. You're looking at mood swings. It just hurts a lot of the times, a lot of UTIs. Then you're looking at body. Do we feel more bloated? Do we have arrhythmias that start happening in our heart? Are our nails changing? They're not like what they used to be. Do you have more allergies, sensitivities? Does everything bother you? Like clothes and everything else that you used to wear without issue now are annoying you? Do you have a lot of pains in your breast area? That is also hormonal imbalances. And then you're looking at energy, mental, and well-being. Are you tired? And do you wake up tired after 8 hours of sleep? Are you still exhausted? Do you need coffee to get your life going? All of those are questions that you have to look in as a woman. And again, we have kids, we have husbands, we have stress of work and jobs, all of that factors in there. But if we feel good, we can handle it a little bit better. And then you're looking at the physical discomfort. Do you ache and creak? Do you start noticing that you're hanging more than you used to? Do you not feel as attractive in your body like you used to? And I want to just say, you're gorgeous. No matter what, everything life has given to us, it is our body, but how do we embrace it where we feel comfortable in it too? And a big thing that hits women is osteoporosis as we age. And I'm going to show why a little bit on that. So what stage are you in? Are you in your childbearing years? I don't know how many teenagers are on the call, but then you're looking at, we have our perimenopause, are still cycling, but our body's starting to transition. And then we have we have the premenopause, then the perimenopause, which hormone fluctuations may cause noticeable changes in symptoms. Then you hit menopause. 12 consecutive months without a period marks this official stage. A lot of women know it because they start getting a lot of hot flashes in menopause or perimenopause as well. And then postmenopause, life after menopause focuses to long-term health and well-being. And that is very important. When you're going through this entire transitional period, how can you guarantee better health long-term wise, alleviate a lot of symptoms? And some women breeze through this section. Other women, they get every single symptom in the book. So no matter which one you're at, we have something for everybody. So 40s to mid 50s is usually when menopause starts hitting on women. I know some women that doesn't hit until their 60s. I know some women who didn't have one symptom at all. I want to share a very interesting fact. In Asia, 60% of their daily diet is soy. You're looking at 30 to 40% of their daily diet is also seafood. So you're looking at, they get a very high index of omegas and soy in their daily diet. They do not have a word for hot flash. In fact, they do not have hormonal disruptions. They don't have menopause like we suffer here in the Western world. And in fact, only when they come and eat our Western diet and use a lot of our Western products do they start experiencing a lot of hormonal imbalances. So it literally comes down to our food. But then you're looking at what are some healthy habits? What can we do to help get us through menopause without issues? Well, at least 2 servings of the soy food. Again, non-GMO is extremely important and cold processed. Certain herbal remedies may help reduce the frequency and severity of hot flashes. Supplement with calcium and vitamin D and weight-bearing exercises to support bone health is very important. I don't want to call it a myth, but the scientific way that many people say is getting your vitamin C and your D was through milk. Well, they've hormonally disrupted the milk so much that it's not very healthy to drink high doses of milk. So you might want to get your calcium and vitamin D from supplements or a good nutritional diet versus a lot of milk. Manage stress and sleep. It is so important for a woman to get 8 hours of sleep. I know you might say, I can function on 6. That's amazing. But if you can get 8 hours of sleep a night, women will live longer, they have better overall health, they can handle the stress of life better and be regimented in that. And achieve and maintain a healthy weight. That's also important. Again, everybody's physique is different, but it's like I do everything. I'm dieting. I can't lose the weight. I'm going to show you some helpful hints that have helped many a woman lose some weight. And then talk to your doctor about mammograms and other preventive screening tests. Again, there's a lot of other good alternatives in research and science that's out there. Do talk to your doctor to figure out what's best for you, or talk to a nurse practitioner or someone that knows how to deal with women's and their hormones. Responding to menopause. Embrace the change that is happening. In fact, take care of yourself. We're always taking care of everybody else around us, but sometimes as women, we forget to take care of ourselves, making sure we're getting enough to eat, of a good protein diet, lots of fruits and vegetables, that we're taking time for self-care on at least a monthly basis, going on a date with your husband or your special partner in order to just get bonding and connection time. Taking, if you love massages, if you love going for a walk, getting a book, actually taking time will help balance you out much longer. And every woman is unique. Find what works best for you. And I want to share what has worked for so many women. And I'm going to build that into the transition of from birth all the way through death of what people have been using here with Shaklee. And I want to share why this company over any other brand I found. Anything that's at the grocery store, the health food store, even from holistic people that make a lot of their vitamins. Here's why I choose Shaklee. This company has been around since 1915. They've never had a product recall. They screen for every single heavy metal with a zero tolerance. I don't know if you've been watching the news in the most recent years. Everywhere you look is recalls, lead, cadmium, all these heavy metals found in supplements, found in proteins. In fact, there's so many recalls on the markets and Prop 65 letters. It's the first thing I look for in a company. Do they have those? So Dr. Shaklee led the world in research and development. He has spent over $500 million on research and the products. We source ingredients from around the world, but we run through 3 very highly sophisticated testings to guarantee the purity of the products. We've powered 150 gold, bronze, and silver medals. We're entirely beyond organic, non-GMO, and everything that we have out there. But the studies is the biggest thing. I want to know if I take a product and your product, does it work? And I'm very proud to say we have proven it works long-term wise and short-term. Again, this is very important. I look at this on any company. When I walk into a grocery store, I go grab the products. I will find the manufacturer, the company. I go and ask them, do you have any artificial flavors, colors, sweeteners, preservatives, any dyes, any binders, any fillers? And if they say yes to any of those, I wouldn't recommend that product because what's on the label, you cannot guarantee is inside. Many companies also use bulking agent and fillers. They do a lot of animal testing. Shaklee has never tested on animals. Everything is made in-house or at GMP facilities. And we screen for 3 times the pharmacopoeia standard, which is the US standard. We follow a lot of European standards and actually go well beyond that, especially in our personal care products. Very proud of that. But this is a huge reason why when I look at companies and products, can you prove to me if I take it, it works? Shaklee is the only company with independent third-party testing at the University of Berkeley and Tufts have proven by taking Shaklee for 20 and 30 years to have double digits better health and optimal blood levels in every biomarker of the blood tested. So when you're looking at why does that matter? Well, when you're looking at hormones in women, if you have low vitamin D count, it is linked to degeneratives in your bones, poor immune system, heart issues, it's linked to Parkinson's, it's linked to MS, it's linked to dementia, it's linked to Alzheimer's. The Shaklee population had 141% higher. I love that number. But then you're looking at your good cholesterol, your bad cholesterol, everything was right as it was supposed to be. Your C-reactive proteins is very important for women. That is your key biomarkers of long-term stress. That is your heart health. That is your cancers. That's your prevalence for a lot of inflammation, cancers, degeneration, long-term term-wise. And to say we had better blood numbers is huge. So what is this graph showing you? You're looking at no supplement users for 20 years, any other brand users for 20 years, and Shaklee and only Shaklee. What fascinated me about this study, Dr. Gladys Block called every company in America and Canada to knowingly participate in this study. She called for over 10 years trying to get companies to participate in her study, and not one brand would but Shaklee. But they took the national norm. They had people who wanted to know their blood numbers. They tested them, and that's how these numbers came to be. But in 4 main categories, no supplement users were better than other multivitamin users: heart, stroke, cancer, and diabetes. It literally would have said supplements do not work. But Shaklee had double digits better health, diabetes 65% lower. That's the number one growing epidemic in the world is diabetes. Heart issues 43% lower, and we prove by taking Shaklee it works. So off there, we formulated something called Vitalizer. Shaklee went to the thousands of people that were in this study and said, what were you on for 20 years? And we formulated Vitalizer for men, for women, and Gold if over 50. So if you're still cycling, you need Vitalizer Women, which gives you what? Your 2-a-day multi, which absorbs in just 30 minutes into the bloodstream. This multivitamin has been around since 1915. It can wipe out malnutrition, and that's the number one issue that we have of being always exhausted is our body can only use what we give it. So if we give our body high quality nutrition, it can actually do something with it. It speeds up cellular repair. We have a lot more energy. Your Carotamax, your vitamin E's and omegas. This is important for your eye health, for your skin, for your brain. Vitamin E is huge for hormonal balancing. It's vital for oxygen to the blood and helping to your red blood cells to replicate. Then you're looking at your B's and C's. For this one product alone is the biggest reason I get women on Vitalizer. In just 15 minutes of a stressful situation, 15 seconds of a stressful situation, which we have an awful lot in our lives, we can deplete the B stores in our body. Your kids, your job, everything in our life just keeps compiling with stress. And stress kills. It's linked to 98% of all health issues, 85% of all ER visits. This B and C product here in Shaklee absorbs for 12 hours into the bloodstream with a timed release delivery system and provides up to 786 greater absorption of B vitamins. That is so important. And then gut health. If our gut is clogged up, a meal in should trigger a meal out within 30 minutes to half an hour. 30 minutes to an hour. You're looking at this pearl that came out in the 80s is triple encapsulated to get to the gut to get our entire digestive tract moving. If you're over 50 and you're no longer cycling anymore, you would do Vitalizer Gold. And if you're on a blood thinner, you would want without K. If you're not on a blood thinner, you would want with K. So I love this as the starter for women. Next, you're looking at why Shaklee shakes. When we talked about protein, when we brought up Asia not having hot flashes, you're looking at what is the role of protein. I'm going to share the importance of protein on hormones through the next couple of slides because protein fights so many things and it builds a healthy body. You cannot have a healthy body without a good protein diet. In fact, Dr. Shaklee made the very first protein meal shake back in the 1950s. In 1960s, he patented our protein with the 9 essential amino acids. It had 14 grams of protein in an instant soy at the time, but it was the first full balanced meal drink of a shake that you could drink and actually survive off of, which was amazing. So Shaklee's patented protein has leucine in it. It holds the muscle, so all we burn is fat. It helps retighten the skin, so our skin stays nice and firm all of our life. But protein's vital for our heart, is for our bones, is for our energy levels. And Shaklee is very tested, quality, proven, but zero sugar. If you are diabetic, it also is low glycemic, so it won't speed up or drop your blood sugars or raise them. And it's also gluten-free and non-GMO. But you're also looking at menopause. What are some things? This is one of my favorite products on all of Shaklee for women that are going through the hormonal changes. If you're not in menopause yet, but you feel it starting, or you have a lot of hot flashes, vaginal dryness, if you have dry eyes, it's GLA. It's literally the one that we don't think about or look at that, hey, I need this one, but this one is vital for women's health, for her eyes, for her skin, everything, but it'll also help with that. Menopause balancing complex. These are the four main ingredients in it. But what this one will do is it helps alleviate the symptoms of menopause, your hot flashes, your mood swings. And the best part about Shaklee, it's all herbals and medicinals. There's nothing artificial in here. And I have some amazing testimonies to share on that one. I want to talk about the belly fat. I know as we get older or women going through different transitions, we can gain a lot of weight, lose weight. It's hard. Why can men lose faster than we can? Sometimes we don't know. But what's amazing about Shaklee is getting and understanding hormonal balances is very important for women to help tone and fit up, but it's okay to have some belly fat. And here's why. Well, if we do not have any fat around our ovaries, it leads to much more harmful and harsh menopause. You're looking at the transitions. Women need to have a natural fat in there. We also need higher vitamin E counts. But the number one reason why a lot of women have hormonal imbalances is they try to eat low fat diets or no fat in their diet. They're using a lot of cleaners or personal care products that have hormone disruptors in them. But the biggest thing, it's stress. If you are constantly under stress, or I like to use the term, duress at times, because everything is a trigger to you, you're looking at that can cause weight gain. It can cause hormonal disruptions. So understanding your body and what's your triggers will really help. But getting enough vitamin E, taking enough B's and C's or stress relief will help alleviate that and can help with some weight loss as well on there. Next one is strong, healthy bones. How do we prevent osteoporosis? 33% of women over 65 have spinal fractures. They have osteoporosis. They have degenerative bones. Their hips just break. They're sore. They're aching all the time. Well, keeping your body alkaline helps reduce bone loss. So what does that mean? It means reducing a lot of inflammation. Next, eating a diet high in raw vegetables is very healthy. A lot of times we want processing. If you ever use a microwave, I highly recommend don't because it chemically alters the food. So use your stove to cook and your oven more than the quick gadgets. But begin by working out for strong bones before puberty is very important to keep a good cardio workout going. And what is a good cardio workout? Taking up a broom, using your vacuum, carrying your laundry basket, raking leaves. Those are all great cardio workouts. You don't have to feel like I got to go to the gym. It's just keeping a very active lifestyle. So how do you prevent osteoporosis? We have two amazing products in Shaklee that will actually help prevent osteoporosis or fix it and actually rebuild the muscles and the bones that as we've seen from DEXA scans. The number one is called Osteomatrix. This one is so vital for everyday use for women and even for men if they have low bone density, but Osteomatrix. The next one is collagen. Collagen is so important for preventing the bone loss, but it all stems from overall daily nutrition is very important, and that comes in our Vitalizer and our Life Shakes. So all of these are very important for if you have osteoporosis, osteopenia, brittle bone, definitely let's talk and have a conversation about what works for you, your budget, and your lifestyle. Why do we need collagen as we age? Well, it affects our nails, our hair, our skin. You're looking at your bones, bone on bone. All of this is made up of collagen. We're like a whole mess of cells, and it's built on protein. Well, collagen is another form of that protein. As we age, in fact, another benefit of men, they don't lose it as fast as women do. But once we hit menopause, we do a drastic drop in our collagen in our body. So in our mid 20s to top of 30, our body makes collagen and then it stops. What is the first indicator that we have lost our body's making collagen? It's the smile lines, it's the wrinkles, it's the sagging more, it's lack of energy. All of that factors in there. More bone health of aches and pains and not recovering as fast after incidents. Well, Again, how do we stop this, or how can we stimulate our body to actually make it again? Because as we age, we lose up to 1% per year, but they've also found that as we get past menopause, we can lose 2 to 5% of collagen a year. It's actually pretty drastic. Shaklee has two amazing collagens, and they're globally patented, which is amazing. But our collagen 9 has collagen 1 and 3, and our BioCell is collagen 2. And what's really amazing about these is they're very different products. They work well together. They work well separately. You can pick and choose which one you want. This one has the 9 essential amino acids, 10 grams of collagen, and reacts on the body like protein does because it has 9 essential amino acids. Your body can make the other 11. This new BioCell that came out in its new form in April has been life-changing and altering for people, from their teeth to their gums to their hips, their joints, their skin, their hair, everything. Totally amazing. You just got to say which one is the right fit for me. So I wanted to actually give a shout out to some of my customers and amazing women that I personally know. You're looking at Theresa here. She actually had tumors and lesions on her brain that she had to have removed. The doctor said her hair growth probably wouldn't come back in. And what was amazing is within taking BioCell, in 1 month to 3 months, her hair came back thicker and fuller and in the correct pattern flow. So that was very impressive. You're looking at people with hip issues, stiffnesses, things like that, the skin, the texture, the bags, all of that helps diminish. And then this was taking our powder collagen, our collagen 9, then our BioCell. It made a huge difference on her skin and her hair. But sometimes we're looking at, as we age, our hair starts thinning. It's not the curly what it used to be. Maybe you're very blessed to still have all that. Not everybody is. But what's amazing is when Sharon started taking the BioCell, in just 2 weeks, she got her curl back, which is very positive. And I see people within a very short period of time get full blown hair back, which is, I love. This is actually my good friend Marsha's neck. This was within 3 weeks of taking our BioCell as well. So it's amazing. People get it again in their arms, they're noticing in their hips, their thighs, their legs, everywhere. But I love seeing the face and neck transformations. How to reduce heart disease, because this is what hits many of us. Unlike men, where suddenly it happens, women, we try to take care of ourselves more. You're looking at, we have indicators of heart disease, our yearly checkups. What is our numbers coming in there? What can we do? The number one thing is protein. Protein, protein, protein. Protein builds healthy cells. It gives us our energy. It keeps everything working and functioning. The next one is keep an eye on your cholesterol. Shaklee has an amazing cholesterol reduction. It's filled with sterols and stanols, all organic, and it's very beneficial down that line. We also have a CoQ heart, which is very important for going through menopause as well. And then Omega Guard. Omegas, Shaklee created the very first fish oil, and it has very high in EPA, DHA, and you're looking at, I like to say omegas grease the body. It helps with heart, it helps with brain, it helps with skin and everything, but also leading a very high active diet. Sarcopenia, I don't know if you've ever heard of this term, but it's where we suddenly start becoming emaciated. Again, it's linked to collagen, but the number one cause is actually lack of protein. If you're not seeing a trend here, I keep going back to protein. So as we age, we lose 1 to 2% per year after the age of 30. Once you hit menopause, ladies, unfortunately, it goes up to, we can lose 5% muscle mass a year. That's why we just start hanging everywhere. And can we reverse that? The answer is actually yes. So by increasing your protein is very important. It will help with your muscles, your bones, everything in there. You're looking at an atrophied muscle versus a normal muscle. They really thin up, dry up, get protein and a lot of fluids in your diet, and that reverses. This is just a comparison of proteins. I wanted to explain it, like what is an incomplete versus a complete protein. Like when you go to the grocery store, screenshot this, share it. I really don't care. Whatever you need to look for it. So you're looking at, if you do not get the 9 essential amino acids, which are right here, if you do not get the 9, your body can't make the other 11. So if you take a protein that doesn't have the 9, your body's not recognizing it. It can't absorb it. It can't utilize what it needs. The next step is you're looking at food sources, most animal proteins, most plant proteins. So you're looking at how are you getting it, the different bases and the structures on it is very important as well. So eating a full thing of chicken, eating the soybeans, we have a plant protein and a soy, so we offer both, but we have the 9. Leucine builds muscles. that is one of Shaklee's patent on our proteins that makes us very different than the other proteins on the market is our leucine. It binds the muscle, so all you burn is fat. It's huge for women to help them lose the weight, especially going through menopause, and achieve your ideal goal weight that is healthy for your body. But what's also really important is, what does protein do? It builds lean muscle. It regulates your hormones. So important for hormones. Cortisol levels, healthy blood sugar. You're looking at, it helps with sleep and melatonin, longevity, hair, nails, skin. It cuts inflammation. It's important for your digestive tract. As we age, again, everything starts slowing down. Gravity pulls us down a little bit more. That goes with our GI as well. Getting enough protein in there helps rebuild the muscle walls of our entire organ system. So protein is that secret weapon that we all forget about. And as we age, we actually need more protein, not less. So I'm inviting you to pull out your cell phone right now, go to your calculator, take your body weight or an estimated of your body weight and times it by 0.75. That is how many grams of protein you need a day. So you're looking at a 100-pound person would need 75 grams of protein. A 200-pound person would need 150 grams of protein. So if you're somewhere demographically in there, you're around 100 to 150 grams of protein. If you could just get 100 grams of protein a day, you will feel like an entirely different person, I promise you. And that's why I love our life shakes, our sparkling protein, different ways to get to that. But I really strive every day in my diet to get there. And it's hard, but it's so important. So this was a very interesting study done by Dr. Westcott, and I wanted to share it because you're looking at, as we age, everyone in the study was past 50, but when you're looking at, I'm not eating the healthiest diet and I'm not working out. People in the studies that were in there, they lost 2.1 pounds of muscle mass. Again, this was a 6-month study that then went on to be a 2-year study because so many people want to continue participating. In that 6 months, they lost 1% of bone density. That's actually pretty scary when you're looking at it. You're looking at blood pressure increased and your diastolic blood pressure increased as well. When people worked out, again, past the age of 50, everybody on here, when they worked out, they gained 3.9 pounds of muscle. Their bone density stayed the same. They lowered their blood pressure, but they still had the increase in the diastolic blood pressure. When they worked out and drank one of our life shakes a day, they gained 5.2 pounds of muscle weight. They gained 1% in bone density. Their blood pressure dropped by 10 and their diastolic blood pressure dropped by 4.8. That was huge when you're looking at muscle repair, recovery, your heart, everything there. That was such an impressive study to prove by taking Shaklee's protein to have better health. And again, they tested other proteins. None of them worked this way. So now I wanted to share some stories. And these are some of my amazing ladies who have used the system, the programs I shared with you, and they had their success today. So you're looking at, she went from 15 to 20 hot flashes a day down to 0. She had more energy. She lost some weight that she wanted to, and she felt way, way better. Then you're looking at my good friend Barb here on this one. She what was amazing, she goes, is like, I had the hot flashes, the night sweats, the mood swings. My sleep pattern was all over the place. I couldn't sleep. I wasn't there for my family and friends. She started on our vitalizer strip and our life shake protein. Just that. That's what she started out with. And what was amazing is she said, the first thing I noticed is once I added the menopause balancing complex, my confusion disappeared. I was much more organized. I felt way better. And then I added GLA. It was a night and day difference to her. So after 2 months of being on it, she goes, I'm back to the organized person I used to be. And I have so much more energy and I'm living life. And it's just amazing, the transition. I didn't realize what I was missing. This one's very important for like PMS. So say you're not all the way into menopause yet, but you're dealing with a lot of hormonal imbalances. You're having harsh cycles, a lot of bleeding. A lot of women suffer from hemorrhoids, and you're looking at a lot of the other hormonal imbalances, longer periods down that line. Well, give your body what it needs, and it's amazing how it will heal itself. Andrea here the doctors recommended her to go on birth control. They looked at giving her a whole hysterectomy. She's only 33. And she said, no, I want to try to go natural first. So her friend Kylie suggested Shaklee. So this is what she went on. Our multivitamin, which is in our vitalizer, Vital E, Iron plus C because she was extremely anemic. Her periods were such heavy blood flow. Sometimes she'd actually end up in the hospital because of it. She would faint, things like that. She went on her energizing soy protein and then our life shake, our GLA and Bs. This was her regimen starting. In 1 month, she noticed a huge difference in her energy, but within 3 months, her periods went down to just 3 times a day. She had no more PMS and no more cramping. That's the difference of a good, high quality multivitamin and nutrition and protein to balance her out. Brenda's story is actually pretty crazy. So Brenda, she said she was like Cruella de Vil, and then the next day she'd be like a pussycat. She goes, my hormones were all over the place. It was really crazy. But she was on hormone replacement therapy. Again, follow your doctor's advice. I don't take people off any prescriptions or drugs, but she didn't feel good. She didn't like the idea that she had to be on these synthetic hormones her entire life. She decided to give Shaklee's menopause balancing complex a try. And she was blown away by just 1 month on the menopause balancing complex. She was there for her kids. She was happy to be around. She goes, I no longer had the highs and the utter depression and lows. My kids said I was like a night and day difference, and they loved hanging around me. And that's the biggest thing is sometimes we don't realize how much our children are suffering while we're going through this transition. So it helps. This is now everything Brenda's taking. She's on Ready Set Wellness, which is our protein and our vitalizer. She loves our cheer up and chill out. She also took our mood lift for an extended period in there because she was dealing with some darker and a lot heavier mood issues, stress relief, and GLA. She said stress relief was a godsend and just dealing with life and everything else. But this is her daily regimen now. How about severe PMS and menopause issues? I actually wanted to really share Cheryl's story. She was an ultrasound technician. She had, since her early 30s, she had really bad PMS. And what does that mean? If you have like a lot of aching breasts before your cycle hits, if you go extended days with it or months without a cycle, you're looking at a lot of hormonal disruptions, mood swings, weight gains, weight losses, all of that hits on there. So she was on a lot of meds as well. Night sweats, hot flashes, all of that hitting there. At 41, her doctors were still only offering medications. She was introduced to Shaklee. She worked with her doctor on this one as well. So first she detoxed. And what does that mean? When you can give your body a good detox, it helps clean out a lot of gunk. It cleans out your liver. It cleans out anywhere that's in the fat that's holding any of the chemical buildup in your body. So cleansing and the liver detox gets the liver working, which affects your thyroid. And then she started on this. It's amazing. She said in just a few months, it's usually a 6 to 9 month journey. And in just a few months, her entire hormones balanced out and life became a breeze. And then you're looking at one of my last ones I wanted to share with you was her story on here of how she dealt with some serious hormonal issues and she was also on some medication. Again, I don't take people off meds, but she was on meds for a very long time for hormone replacement therapies and everything down that line. She decided to give GLA and Omega Guard a try. And what was amazing is it changed her life. Then her doctor okayed her to take the menopause balancing complex, and her entire body cooled off. I loved hearing that from her. She had such huge results on it. And what was amazing is, again, Vitally or energizing soy protein or Life Shake or Vitalizer gives you the core, and we have the helpful hands on there. And last two testimonies that I wanted to share. Again, these are just women, uterine fibroids. You're looking at what are you dealing with, everything. It comes down to diet, what you wash yourself, clean yourself, all of that affects yourself. But taking the right nutrition in 3 to 6 to 9 months, people feel like entirely different once they get the core nutrition that they need, their hormones balance out, and they feel like being there for them and their kids. So I want to just put out the disclaimer. What I've shared today is not approved by the FDA or the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not designed to treat, cure, prevent any disease. And please talk to your doctor. If you have any questions, reach out to your physician, your doctor, your pediatrician, and get their best consult. You can share these products with them. Shaklee has, again, tons of research science to prove it. And I want to thank you for joining me. If you have questions, please reach out. Comment below. You can scan my QR code on here as well. But if you like a personal consult, I gave you my phone number or my email. Reach out to me. Would love to hear from you or help you figure out your health journey or any health issues that you're dealing with. And I want to thank you so much for attending this call with me today.
Thank you so much, Theresa. That
Thank
was
you.
really amazing and informative. And of course, I've had experience with menopause and all the fun stuff that comes with it. And and my daughters have some things I think that could be addressed there.
Yes.
And yeah, I think it's everything you showed us is amazing. So I wish we
Thank
could
you.
have gone live in the Facebook group. Hopefully, I will figure that out soon. But I'll be posting this recording. Are there any like typical questions that people ask you a lot that you might want to address before we wrap up? Or Karen, do you have any questions?
You're muted, Kieran.
I'm on mute.
Yes.
Questions? Not really. I use Shaklee every day in life. I live on Shaklee. I live on all the products, and they've been helping me and my husband quite a lot. And my husband would not dare. I mean, he himself says, I would not dare go to Walmart or anywhere else to buy anything other than Shaklee. And that's because he's seeing the results.
He has
He's
seen
seeing,
a huge difference from what he used to take.
yeah, because I mean, he took it for he's been taking supplements for most of his life. And
Hmm.
he has not ever had the opportunity to take a really good supplement that he himself has seen really works,
Hmm.
and he said it is like heaven and hell, the way he says it. Yeah, and
And
that's
Well,
that's
how he
you
expresses his
you two have
appreciation.
certainly made me curious. I'm going to
Yeah.
definitely be looking into this for myself and my family. And I know you included all your contact information there, Theresa. So thank you very much
absolutely.
for that. And
Yvonne, I'm going to add in one last thing.
yes.
What's really interesting, it's the number one question I ask women that are going through a lot of really hard hormonal or really any major health issues.
Mm-hmm.
How's your stress?
Mm-hmm.
It literally comes down to that is we're always nurturing, we're caregivers, but we hold so much in. And if women are having horrible hormones or a lot of health issues, even a lot of gut health issues, I ask stress first. Next, it's how much protein do you get and how are your bowels? Those are the three main questions when it comes down to women. And I'm not putting anybody in a box with that, but I think it sums up our life pretty
Yeah.
well on that.
Yeah.
And if you have to do something as a woman going through menopause, please don't do a low-fat diet. It will actually cause more issues because we need the fat. We need
Yeah,
it.
healthy
And I
fat.
know
Yeah.
so many women want teeny little bodies and low fat everything, and they're not the picture of health long-term wise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Um,
I'm sorry, I'm not knocking anybody. It's just a very honest thing when you're looking for a healthy woman.
oh no, I totally agree. I totally agree.
Hmm.
Well,
Okay,
thank you so much, Teresa. I appreciate you doing this today. And
absolutely. Has the recording stopped? Not
I
yet.
not yet. I'm about to turn it off if
Okay.
there's nothing else
Nope.
to
Well,
add.
thank you so much. Again, if you have any questions, reach out. I guess I'll end with a special if anybody ever refers to this video, watches it through, ending the recording with this, and you decide you want to go for one of the regimens of our hormonal bundles, I'll gift you a cheer up and chill out. So that's a very important one for women, and it's one of my favorite ones that all women start loving once they start on it because it gives immediate results and it tastes super good.
Okay. What is it called again?
Cheer up and chill out.
Oh, cheer up and chill out. Oh, okay, cool. That
So
sounds like fun.
oh, it is so good. So when I say what is the hormonal bundle, it's the Ready Set Wellness. It gives you your vitalizer, your protein. You get a free product of choice. which I always recommend starting the cleanse, but we have gut, we have energy, a lot of different solutions on there for that free product. And then adding a GLA or menopause balancing complex depends upon which situation you're in. Every woman needs GLA, but if you're in menopause, it's the menopause balancing. You do that packet, and I will gift you a cheer up and chill out.
Okay. Awesome. And I would encourage anyone who's watching this recording to share it with any friends and family that you feel could benefit from this information or talking to Theresa. So
Thank you so much.
you're very welcome. And I'll end the recording. We'll talk to everyone later.
Take care.